Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, my students. I hope that you are doing all well. So, our today's lesson is completely different from the other lessons that we have done. Our today's lesson is about grammar, one of the most important grammar lessons in the English language in general. What is the difference between a sentence, clause, and a phrase? In French, a phrase is equivalent to a sentence in English. However, a phrase in English, its definition is different from a sentence. And the same thing for the clause. So, let's start. First of all, what is a sentence? A sentence is the basic unit of language which expresses a complete thought. What do we mean by a complete thought? I repeat myself. A sentence is the basic unit of language which expresses a complete thought. A complete thought, I mean by that it is a complete idea. It means it serves a purpose. The sentence that we have must serve a sentence. It contains a subject and a predicate. A subject in English can be two things. It can be a noun or pronoun. Okay. However, what do we mean by a predicate? Okay. Let's take as an example, I eat an apple. So, I is the subject and it is a pronoun, a subjective personal pronoun in the same time, and eat is the verb. An apple, okay, is the complement. Okay, so what do we call a predicate? A predicate is everything that comes after the subject. We call it the predicate. Good. Okay, let's explore some other examples. So we have here some couple of examples. The dog barked loudly. The dog barked loudly. Okay, so what do we have here? The dog is the subject. Barked is the verb to bark, I think. And loudly is an adverb. I may ask you where is the subject. You say that the subject is the dog, okay, because it's an animal here. Okay, so where is the predicate? So, barked loudly is the predicate. Remember, I said that everything that comes after the subject is called a predicate. Good. Financial accounting is a branch of accounting. I give you some time to reflect on it. Financial accounting is in the subject, is the verb, and we have here the complement. However, is a branch of accounting is our predicate. I hope you have understood. So we have two characteristics that must be included in a sentence. It must have a complete thought, it must have a subject and a predicate. Good. Let's move to the clause. What do we mean by the clause? What is a clause? A clause is a group of words, just as a sentence. A sentence is also a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. It is the same as in the sentence. So we have a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. You may ask yourself, so what is the difference between the sentence and a clause? Okay, let's read more. Contains a subject and a verb, which means it contains a subject and a predicate, just as a sentence. Here we have the second characteristic of a clause. We have it may or may not express a complete thought on its own. Okay, so said it may or it may not. So it can have a complete thought, an idea which is relevant and comprehensible, not ambiguous, or it may not. Okay, so we have here some examples. The movie was really good. The movie here is the subject. Was is our verb. Really good is our complement. So what is our subject? This is our subject, and this is what we call the predicate. Okay, let's write it. Predicate. Like it. You may ask yourself, this is also a sentence. Yes, indeed, it is also a sentence. Every sentence is a clause. However, not every clause is a sentence. Okay, let's explore the second example. Because I was sick, I stayed home. I stayed home. Okay. Because I was sick. In your opinion, do we have here a complete thought? Okay, we have a subject, we have a verb, we have a predicate. However, do we have a complete thought here? So, of course not. We do not have a complete thought here. I stayed home. Yes, this is a sentence and a clause. So we have the two clauses here. The first one is incomprehensible, so it is ambiguous. It needs another clause to form one sentence. Okay? I hope you have understood what we mean by a clause. Okay, I finished my homework early. So, this is a sentence and at the same time it is a clause. Why? Because we have a subject, we have a predicate. However, we have also a completed meaning. I finished my homework. If I have time, I will go to the gym. If I have time, I will go to the gym. This is what we call an if clause. So, if I have time, look here, I have here a subject, I have a predicate, but I may ask you a question. Can let's say this clause stand alone? Of course not. I cannot just stop here. If I have time, I need to fulfill it with another clause. If I have time, I will go to the gym. Okay? So, this one is just a clause. The second one is a sentence and a clause in the same time. And all this one is one sentence. It is a complex sentence. Good. Okay. remark. Every sentence is a clause, but not every clause is a sentence. Okay, now let's move to the definition of a phrase. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words, the same as a sentence, the same as a clause. So, let's read more. A phrase is a group of words that does not, okay, contain a subject, okay, and a verb. It does not contain any subject or a verb, or maybe one of them. It is used to add more details, okay, or descriptions to a sentence, okay. We use a phrase in order to provide more information or more details to a sentence, or a clause. Let's explore some examples. We have a lot of types. In fact, we have a lot of types of phrases. We have the noun phrase, verbal phrase, we have adjectival phrase, adverbial phrase, prepositional phrase. But for today, inshallah, let's just recognize what do we mean by a phrase, or let's just define it. Okay, we have here some couple of examples. The red car parked in the driveway. The red car parked in the driveway. Okay? Can you say, what is this? Good. This is what we call a sentence. Okay? It is a sentence, and at the same time, it is a clause. However, in the driveway is a phrase, okay? The men with the long beard, the men with the long beard. Do we have here a subject, a relevant subject who is performing an action or a verb that contains an action? No. So this is all a phrase. The men with the long beard. Okay, if I want to make a sentence with this one, I would say, I have talked with the men with the long beard. I have talked with the men with the long beard. Okay, let's move to the third phrase. He ran very quickly. He ran very quickly. Okay, this is a sentence. He ran very quickly because we have a subject and we have a verb. And this is the verb to run in the past. It is the verb to run in the past. Very quickly is an adverbial phrase. It is a phrase. So it is working as a complement. Okay, a phrase can work as a complement. A complement can be one word, okay, group of words, okay. However, phrase, it is a group of words, as we agree. So I hope that you have understood our today's lesson. Please provide me with your feedback in the comments. Thank you so much. In summary, let's summarize everything we have said. A sentence is a completed unit of thought. A sentence is a completed unit of thought, which means that it is meaningful. Okay? A clause is a group of words as the sentence, the same as a sentence, that contains a subject and a verb that may or may not express a complete thought. Remember, every sentence is a clause. However, not every clause is a sentence. If it does not have a meaning, it means it is just a clause. Okay? Express a complete thought. A phrase is a group of words that does not contain a subject and a verb. It does not contain a subject or a verb. We use it in order to give more details to a sentence. It cannot stand alone. Thank you so much.